Thank you, Hilary. I would like to pick up from where Christine left off, if you
Great.
don't mind.
Yes.
I love that this is about learning to earning. And I think the earning always excites you if you're young. However, I think it's very important for me to mention the learning never stops. And the minute the learning stops, the earning also stops, without a doubt, without a doubt. So I know you're probably thinking, I'm going to graduate, Caroline. So, I don't want to see another book. The truth is, you need to continue learning. And sometimes you must unlearn and relearn because what you know today might not be relevant in 3 years. Christine also spoke about the resume. Could you please do it today? Yeah, I'm that speaker. I'm going to give you homework. And could you put it on LinkedIn? Because chances are Christine will come looking for you on LinkedIn, as opposed to you sending out that singular resume that you've written to everybody and not customized. So today, your resume without, I mean, I know you're on Twitter and you're on TikTok and you are on Facebook and you're on Instagram. You must be on LinkedIn. Very important. And then, of course, I need to say this, maybe Jugosh will mention it, but social media is also telling us a story about you. I mean, I'm lucky I grew up in a world, because I'm like 96 years old, but I hydrate well. But I grew up in a world where there really, really was no social media. So the resume I presented you is the only one that existed. Today, the truth is, there is the resume you write every day with every single post and every opinion you put out there. However, I know that you're giving me 15 minutes, and I just want to say three things, and I'm going to confine myself to my working life from the age of 17 to about 23, 24. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say is hit the ground running. Okay. It's very easy to say, I'm tired. I've been in college for 4 years and I cannot do this anymore. The truth is, I've been working since I was 17. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I finished fourth form on the 28th of November, and on the 4th of December, I was at work. And my job, oh, Christine, I earned more than you. She said she was at 800 shillings. Oh, I was at 1,500. I was balling out of control at the time. And it's taken me a while to articulate what my job was, but I was a messenger. If your job is to pick up invoices and drop off invoices and pick up statements and drop them off and pick up checks and take them to the bank, you're a messenger. Doesn't matter what you sound like. That's what I was. And if I'd never done that job, I don't think I'd have been ready for any other job that came after that. So please hit the ground running. And I know there are people who will say, I cannot do that. Sijoni nikifanya hiyo kazi. And that's fine. But I also wanted to remind you that the working environment is a living organism, but it's also almost like a club and a network. If you're inside a job, you can find a job. But when you're at home doing nothing, the job is not going to come to you. It's the same thing they say about dating. Your potential girlfriend is not going to fall from the ceiling, while you're sitting at home. Okay, that was supposed to be funny. Could everybody please laugh a little? Okay, super. So it's very important you hit the ground running, get on with it, and get your skates on. Just get into the work environment. Working is like a muscle, okay? The more you exercise that muscle, the better it is. It gets better and better. While you're at it, hone your people's skills. Okay. So throughout life, there's a lot of things we will say that we want out of you. And your resume is fantastic. And how much money you make and the car you drive, that's all very well. But the biggest thing you'll be able to capitalize on is your social capital. And the reason I say this is that I worked as a waitress. So I'm taking you through my work journey. So remember, messenger, promotion. But this time I was at the University of Nairobi, and we had a couple of closures because stone throwing was also something we did part-time. I was never one of them. I just want to say that. But every time there was a closure, I had a job. So I worked as a waitress in 3 different establishments owned by the same person. If you drop into the CBD in Nairobi, and you go to Trattoria, now they'll tell you she worked here. I was a waitress, then a maitre d'. I put menus in envelopes, and I went up to people and said, table for how many? So I did that job. And I did that job in high heels as well, But it wasn't just that. I also worked at a restaurant that no longer exists called Forester, and I used to do evening coffee. And then after that, I would go check on dinner at both Trattoria and at Visions, okay? Now, if you hang out with me, you probably think, oh my goodness, she gets such great service because she's Caroline Mutoko. No, it's because I've worked with most people in the service industry. So if you're ever in Nairobi and you go to Jacaranda and you meet the head chefs there, his name is Matagea. If he hears I'm in the establishment, he comes out to say hi and he reminds everybody, tulikuwa tunafanya kazi na yeye. And you don't think it's a big deal when you're 18, 19, 20. The truth is, every person you encounter from here on is going to have a bearing in your life in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. So hone your social skills. Make sure that whatever establishment you get into, you leave with people who say amazing things about you. If they encounter you 5 years, 10 years later, they're like, yeah, she's kind of awesome, okay? Bloom where you're planted. You're not going to get the job of your dreams right away. And right now, to be honest, your dreams look a bit like Elon Musk. And no, I'm sorry. No, no, just no. Okay. I need you to bloom where you're planted. And the truth is, if you actually enter your first job, wherever it might be, and you're very clear is this is my stepping stone, or this is my treadmill, this is where I'm going to hone me, you're going to do exceptionally well. But to be able to bloom, you need to take in everything that place gives you. So take in the soil nutrients, if it's in understanding how business works. Take in the chlorophyll, if it's in understanding how revenue is made. I get very confused when I meet young people who have no relation between their input and their salaries. It's imperative that you are not only blooming where you're planted, even if it's in a desert, but you're also insistently getting as much as you can out of that environment, okay? And I also need to say here at this point is that now your personal brand is being built in a big way. And I'd like, if you'll allow me, please let me know when I'm running out of time. I'm going to give you two examples because it's okay for me to speak theoretically, but I'd like to be able to put, names and ideas to it. In the last couple of weeks, and I mean like in the last 3 weeks, I've encountered two people, two totally different industries. One is a young man called Stephen Zhao. He's probably about 27, 28 at most. He works at Inchcape. And in the 3 days I had to actually encounter him, I was amazed at the thoroughness and the genuineness of the way he handled not just himself, that he did what he said he would do, but he represented the organization so well, such that if he's the only person you ever meet from Inchcape, you're sold on the establishment completely. And I don't often meet young people who have such an amazing impact on me. I keep asking myself, I wonder where else you will do well. Okay. And if his boss is listening, I'm not looking to poach him, don't worry. But he's the kind of guy who made me think, so you've done this job for 4 years, but you're genuinely in love with what you do, and you genuinely want to give the best. His personal brand, in my estimation, is already done. Absolutely. The other is a lady out of Rongai. Her name is Penina. I mean, when I say Rongai, I'm saying, Pita kona baridi na uendele. Okay? Na uendele, for a little while. And she is part of the housekeeping staff at a place called Champagne Ridge. And it's not just the way in which she handles her job. I remember her checking on me twice as we headed back to civilization because, hey, uko ni mbali, let's not kid ourselves. And at some point, 1 hour into the drive back, she called and said, Mko salama. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Please understand this. She is your typical Maasai woman. Completely. I don't think she's ever left Rongai. And like 2 hours later, she called and said, Nitaka kujua, mko sawa? Let me tell you, she has every GRO, every guest relation officer I've ever encountered, from here to New York to the Waldorf in Dubai, beat hands down. I had to call her boss and tell her boss how great she was. I don't know whether I'll ever see Penina again, but she left an impression on me. And here's the thing, today, sitting here, doing, ready to work for Absa, I'm talking about these two people because of the impression they've left on me. The last thing I think I want to say is grow yourself. Christine was being polite when she was like, oh, do more. Oh, for heaven's sake, let me just be honest. The organization is not your parent. No, 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 no. I will require you, and the world will require you to consistently grow you, okay? And you will do that by taking the course, whether it's online or offline, paying for it yourself. I know you just went, Caroline Anonge Vibaya. Imagine I'm not. I took myself to school 3 times. And if you're not interested in growing you, I can't want for you more than you want for yourself. But when the people around you see the effort you put in bringing out the best there is in you, because there's always more in you, the chances are you will find people consistently who are like, you know what? I like what she's doing. I like what he's doing. I think I want to carry you most of the way. So put in the time, hone your skills. And if you have to unlearn, relearn, do it. And do it consistently. Number one, it keeps your life really exciting. And I know I haven't been in a learning space since 2013. And I can tell you, I'm itching to get back into a classroom, not for what the lecturer will tell me. And this is the exciting thing about, I don't know how many of you have graduated. You know that line that they say at the end of your graduation, you've been given the power to read? It literally means that. It means that now that you have graduated, you have the power to go and seek more knowledge. So don't let graduation be the end. Let it be the beginning. And then let's go from learning to earning, and then learning to earning more. And I think I've been told to shush, so I will.
Learning to earning,
And
then earning more.
Learning more and earning.
And learning more and earning more.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the comments here are just exciting. One of the things that is standing out from the audience is your quote on bloom where you're planted.
Yes.
I mean, what else could you be able to say? I mean, reading through your bio, I am so interested in a line that says that Caroline began her radio career at Capital FM, where she was working for only 7 days a week. At the radio station, Caroline was not entitled to any remuneration, but she was earning excellent life skills that molded her to become a renowned radio presenter.
Who told you that?
It's
a secret that I was not earning for 6 months. Yes.
In your final submission, what are these relevant, excellent life skills that you learned that could be relevant to this young, budding audience who are really looking for the opportunity to excel in their careers?
Oh, wow. You know, in those first 6 months at Capital, where I wasn't earning anything, I can set up a radio station today because I was able to be in the room when antennas were being ordered and the mixers were being ordered because I know the specs. Remember, you're interning, so yeah, you get a little stipend, but it's not a salary. And because you're a gopher, and gopher means you go for anything, go for coffee, but I just want to stick with the technical part for a moment. If it wasn't for that time where I used to do the traffic update. I don't know whether anybody knows that's how I started in radio. I literally used to go in from 3 o'clock until about 5 o'clock and do Uhuru Highway busy but moving. That's the opportunity they gave me. It was like 2 minutes, twice an hour. That's all I got. But bloom where you're planted. I was good enough at doing just that to be able to be told you can do something else and do something more. And I was getting radio skills. Remember, there was no media school in my day. My first degree from the University of Nairobi is in economics and maths. It does not prepare you for media. It does, however, prepare you for a certain way of thinking. And that's the other thing. University teaches you how to think. Don't you dare drop out of college. Back to what I was asked. Don't you dare. But I was learning. I made coffee for Phil Matthews. I was learning what it was like and what drove him from 6 a.m. until 4, because he was running a radio station but running a morning show. So you think, oh my God, she was getting coffee. How useless is that? I had access to the biggest name in radio for 4 to 6 hours every day. I was part of the guts of putting that thing together. You cannot, I was not being paid, but I was literally going to school for free, for free. So those 6 months were just powerful, powerful. They created everything I am and was in media and in radio, without a doubt.
Our first question is from a student,
Okay.
and I will read it verbatim. Caroline, I'm a student in marketing, and I'm also interested in pursuing a career in communication. Are these two fields related, or do I need to take up a course in communication? I can take it up again, or you've got it?
No, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. So marketing is literally the art of communicating the language of brands and products and services, all right? So if you're doing marketing and comms, you've got the two relevant skills to be able to be effective. And I think, you know, when I look at the industry I'm in, radio in particular, I know we've got many other facets, the ability to communicate the marketing message for Absa, the ability to communicate the marketing and the promises of any brand is what makes or breaks the ability to deliver that particular product to its target audience. So in answer to your question, if you're doing marketing and communication, you've got a fantastic cataclysmic, you know, synergy of skills. And I really hope you'll use them well. I really do.
Thank you. The other question that is coming through from the audience is that as a result of COVID-19, many people have lost their jobs. True. In your opinion, what careers stand the test of any challenge?
Wow. You know, the first thing we all learned, let's not even kid ourselves, medicine. Medicine clearly cannot be overwritten. Because if there's one thing COVID-19 has done for all of us, is made us a lot more aware of health matters, but not just from a very clinical standpoint, but also from our nutrition and our lifestyle standpoint. But also, and I think, you know, can I give you homework on this one? Please go through the internet and figure out what was designated as essential services. And there is your answer, okay? Banking, money, money transfer. And also, we kept talking about a digital world and a digital future. If there's one thing COVID-19 did, is it instantly digitized the economy. Overnight, we were all here. It's where we ordered food, toilet paper, the works. So I think, first and foremost, you know, we all can't be in what you'd call essential services. But when something like this happens, how quickly do you also lend yourself to the need of the moment? And I think for me, I've always believed that young people have one major skill, and that's agility, to be able to turn and do something else.
You may be able to take one more question. I usually have divided attention with regards to career I wish to specialize in. What really should guide my career choice?
That's a beautiful, beautiful question. And I guess it's going to be my last. The thing you do that hums, okay? The things you do that you do. And then there is a space you're in where you can feel your rhythm lends itself to it, and you're not tired when you're doing it, and you're not fed up when you're doing it, and you're not complaining when you're doing it. That's the one. And the beautiful thing about being in your 20s is that you've got about 5 to 6 years to find that thing, the hum, the hum, the hum. And I know the hum is true for me. I don't know whether I mentioned this to you, and it wasn't in that little, you know, dossier you got from the FBI on me, but I was a banker. I was a management trainee for 2 years. Banking was not for me, not the way it was constituted then, because bankers didn't believe that money was an FMCG. Money is an FMCG, it's a fast-moving consumer good, trust me. But then I got into radio and I had the hum. I could do it. I had to work at it. I worked 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday, for a very long time. Waking up at 4 is not funny, but I could do it and do it for 14 years. Why? Because my body lent itself to it, and I was excited to wake up every morning to do it. That's how you find out what is great for you.
Great.
Yeah? I hope I've answered that question.
The hum.
The hum. You can feel it. It's a rhythm. And when you're there, you know you're in the right place.
I would want to request you to, in your parting shot,
Wow.
what are the 2 key success factors to this crop of audience? These are young people who are the future of this nation, the future of the world. What would you tell them are the 2 success factors, in your own opinion?
Oh gosh. Number 1, never arrive. I think there's this thing of when I'm 30, when I'm just never arrive. Never ever arrive. And you know, coupled with that is don't stop reaching for more. Don't stop digging, you know, inside yourself to find more. Never arrive. Do more than expected. Do it better than expected. That for me is so key. And my second one, which literally is my last one, because I'd like to hand over the baton to the next speaker, who's cooler, funnier, but thank God not prettier than me, is talent without discipline is nothing. It doesn't matter how talented you are, if you won't put in the time and you won't put in the work and you won't be disciplined about it, if you don't have focus, you don't have drive, you don't have fortitude, look it up. You can tell us all you want about how funny you think you are. Oh, this is the other one we get in media. My friends tell me I have a voice for radio. You know what? We don't care. Do you have the personality for it? Okay. You talent without discipline, your grades and your first class honors without the discipline and putting in the time, the work and the effort is a waste of time. Completely. Hard work will beat you every time. Every time. Thank you.